Developer student clubs train thousands of student developers globally and work with their communities to solve real-life problems. Google selects amazing students from across the globe once a year to be a developer student club lead and start a club on their campus. These leads believe knowledge is power and that technology can do extraordinary things for the world. They take on the responsibility to help students learn and empower these students to solve real problems around them. Join us in building a global community for students.
Hi, my name is Shazib Kazmi, and if I am selected as a DSC lead, my club would be based on these three ideas: inclusive, practical, and casual. So I believe that nobody owns the rights to education and it should be open to everybody. So my club activities would be open to all the students in my campus so that I can reach as many students and impact as many lives as possible. Second is practical. So as the idea behind DSC that we should bridge the gap between theory and practice, so my club would place a heavy emphasis on the practical knowledge of students, because in the real world practical skills are more important than the theoretical part which are being taught in our classrooms. Lastly, casual. So in our classrooms the relationship between students and teachers is quite formal, which keeps students from asking the real questions which they want. The peer-to-peer nature of our club would ensure that students can ask the question which they truly want to really clear their ideas, and that would be the community which I would build if I am selected as a DSC lead.
When I came to first year, I found it difficult navigating a lot of facilities on campus. Most first year students, they found it a major challenge. So I said, okay, this is something that we really need to solve. The DSC is a community where students who are like-minded come together to learn technologies in cloud, Android development, and web development. So after a few workshops, I figured that we could solve accessibility for first-year students. We decided to use the mall as a use case to build a navigation system using AR technology. At first, people were like, this is really a complex problem to solve. But then after we broke the problem down, we realized that all the technologies we had to use, we had already learned them in our DSC workshops.
When I heard about it, I was like, David, I need to join this project because I was lost basically the entire first academic year. And that's what DSC does. It gives you a project and it makes sure that you are well equipped to work on the project.
So we had a lot of volunteers and we broke them into teams. First, we had a Blender team to get a 3D model of the building. Then we had the Unity and Scripted team who got the models and made it interactive and available to the Android team, who built the screens and the app and used Firebase, which stores user data and for business analytics. And we had the UI team who created the designer set and all the dynamic interfaces you see. Last, we had the documentation team who put everything into one file to make it available to the open source community.
My name is Paul and I study chemistry. I got inspired by attending one of the DSC seminars. I'm actually very impressed about my brother's journey here because as a computer science student, I just have to focus on the PC part, computer building apps, but he has something else to do. But he's still taking some time off to help us and he's really doing a good job. Now I can build Android apps. That means I can use that as a part-time job and maybe chemistry as my full-time job, or maybe the vice versa.
There were times that we had to meet in the evenings. There were times we had to meet early in the morning just to get the project working.
It was hard, but then we looked at the bigger picture and realized that, okay, we can do this. So, yeah. DSC is a family and it's about the learning of teamwork and leadership.
What we've built is not a perfect app, but we've come a long way by being able to use the knowledge that we gain from our DSC workshops. My God, this is cool. Who wouldn't love this?
Saya dilahirkan di Bojonegoro, Ibu saya mendidik saya boleh bermain, tapi bermainnya itu nggak boleh jauh-jauh. Terus saya melihat kakak saya kebanjiran, yang paling parah itu tahun 2007, di mana rumahnya itu sangat tenggelam, banyak korban jiwa yang ditimbulkan, dan kakak saya itu kehilangan.
Kemarin ya lumayan, kemarin. Ya.
Kalau airnya semakin tinggi kan, nggak bisa lalu lintas kendaraan kan nggak bisa lewat, kita biasanya pakai perahu. Palingnya kalau udah agak parah lagi kita ngungsi.
Warga juga pasti resah, kalau enggak sebelumnya belum diberitahu kan resah. Kalau sudah diberitahu kan nanti ada persiapan.
Saya ketika kuliah di Pens ini, saya pertama kali tahu DSC itu dari dana. Seharusnya kita bisa menghindari hal buruk terjadi ketika kita mengetahui apa yang akan terjadi. Dana membantu saya sekali dalam hal tersebut bersama tim untuk membuat aplikasi Float.
Alatnya itu bersifat kayak misal di sini bakalan ada banjir, dari pemerintah bakalan langsung, tidak berdasarkan yang sebelumnya berdasarkan data kami, itu berdasarkan dari WhatsApp. Jadi setelah itu penduduk bisa ke posko terdekat. Di sini ada lokasi poskonya. Terus kita bisa kayak ngeset arahnya belok kiri maupun belok kanan gitu ada. Karena kita memanfaatkan teknologi arahan juga dari Google.
Oke, sudah selesai?
Oke, selesai. Kemudian kita mencoba ke sana, kita menunjukkan ke warga Bojonegoro.
Kalau sekarang kalau ada aplikasi ini kan bisa langsung masuk ke HP-nya masing-masing. Jadi semua warga otomatis langsung tahu.
Di sini kita milih Balai Desa
Mulia Agung,
Belanja
ya.
Arah.
Ya.
Di sini kita bisa lihat di posko ini ada berapa banyak orang.
Membantu banget berarti ya, sangat amat membantu.
Iya. Ini rencana emang akan kami rilis ke Bojonegoro.
Oh gitu ya.
This is the power of DSC students all over the world. We can learn and teaching together and also to solve local problems.
Dengan adanya aplikasi Float ini, saya merasa sangat senang sekali saya bisa membantu warga masyarakat Bojonegoro, terutama untuk kakak saya.
Developer student clubs train thousands of student developers globally and work with their communities to solve real-life problems. Google selects amazing students from across the globe once a year to be a developer student club lead and start a club on their campus. These leads believe knowledge is power and that technology can do extraordinary things for the world. They take on the responsibility to help students learn and empower these students to solve real problems around them. Join us in building a global community for students.
Hello. Good evening. So, welcome to the hashtag GC Pinas webinar, Get Started and Learn Google Cloud. I am Gianna from Developer Student Clubs, UP Dalaman.
And I am Jethro from Developer Student Clubs Loyola, and we will be your hosts for today.
So, Developer Student Clubs are university-based community groups for students interested in Google developer technologies. And by joining our chapters, students grow their knowledge in a peer-to-peer learning environment and build solutions for local businesses and their communities. And in the Philippines, it is currently home to 27 chapters around the country.
On behalf of Developer Student Clubs Philippines, we are happy to have launched hashtag GCPNAS this December to give developers from all over the country the opportunity to learn about Google Cloud and get the chance to try it out on the Qwiklabs platform.
So in today's webinar, we'll be having Sir Albert, a cloud Google developer expert, introduce to us the fundamentals of Google Cloud and explore the career opportunities in cloud technology. We'll also be going through a step-by-step guide on how to activate your Qwiklabs account and go through the first hands-on lab with Harvey Season, the president of DSC Loyola.
If you have any questions, please feel free to comment down in the comment section below on the Facebook post. We will be answering them during the Q&A section after Sir Albert's talk. So first up, we have our first speaker, Sir Albert Padden. Sir Albert is a developer and entrepreneur who's worked on consumer, enterprise, and government software products. He is the co-founder and CTO of Simp, a design, development, and startup studio.
So we know you're all excited to hear from Sir Albert. So without further ado, let's all welcome Sir Albert Padden. So Sir Albert, the stage is yours.
All right, hi everybody. Just making sure that everybody can see me. Oh, there I am. I see myself now. That's good. Hi everyone. So this talk will basically, well, this is not really a talk. This is more of like a demo. I don't want to do so many talks and just keep on talking, but rather I want to show you really what the power of Google Cloud. And I'm gonna spend about 10 minutes on that. We'll try to do a demo in 10 minutes. And then after that, I'm gonna have like a conversation, I think with Gianna and I think with Jethro as well. And we're just going to go through some questions. I'm gonna try to answer as many of their questions as best as I can. So why don't we get started and let's do this. So I'm gonna share my screen. Let me share my screen. And you should see my desktop background right now. Just double checking that the live stream is showing my screen. And there it is. Great. So you see nothing there but just this, standard Mac OS background. So, okay, so now I'm bringing in my one window. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna show you how you can get started in Google Cloud as from scratch. So I'm gonna pretend that I'm gonna do this from scratch. So I'm going to start with something called Google Cloud Quick Start. I just Google that, and maybe it's too small, so I will zoom it in. Okay, there you go. Zoom it in a little bit. All right, Google Cloud's quick starts. But I'm gonna start with something called App Engine. Google Cloud App Engine Quick Start. And this one will take the second in the list, the quick start for Node.js. Let's click that. And then we have this Node.js quick start, and we're going to follow this. Okay, so I'm gonna do this in 10 minutes. I'm not really gonna follow the tutorial step by step. I'm gonna breeze through this. I'm just gonna show you. So I got 10 minutes, timer starts now. But in the background, I'm gonna play some music. Okay, let me know if the music's too loud so I can like lower it. Okay, let me just get into the zone. You know, as a developer, you kind of need to get in the zone. So here we go. So first thing is we need to create a project. Okay, so we need to create a project. So the way we do this is I'm going to open an incognito window and go to cloud.google.com. So this is cloud.google.com, and you would see something like this. All right, and when you see something like this, we're going to sign in. So I'm signing in with my account. Okay, standard Gmail sign in, albert@synth.co. That's my email. I won't say my password, but I'm typing it now. And verify with my two-factor. And here we go. Up next, you're going to see the Google Cloud webpage, but we're going to press this button that says Go to Console. We're going to go to the Cloud Console. You press that, and here we go. And this is what it looks like. Okay, so now that we have the Cloud Console, we're going to create a new project. So we go over here. This is the project, and we say New Project. All right, here we go, New Project. Let's call this GC Pinas. GC Pinas. Oh, that actually is available. That's great. Let's create that. Okay, so while that's creating, let's go back and for tutorial. And so it tells us to download the sample code over here. Fortunately, this is the sample code. Fortunately, I already have it in my desktop, so let's just open that. Okay, let's open that. Let's make this bigger. All right. CD. Okay, then let's open this up in VS Code, Visual Studio Code. Oh, that's not how you open Visual Code. You put code, that's how I do it. Okay, here we go. What's in this? Nothing is in it. Okay, code. Okay, fine. Open a folder. Desktop, and then App Engine node. Open that. What? Why am I not seeing anything? Here, come on, open up. Let's close this again. Code. Open a folder. App Engine node. Open. Okay, that's not working for me. Why is it not working? Anyways, every time I hit a snag like this, just offer me a prayer and cross your fingers, okay? This is a live demo. We need all the help we can get. All right, anyways, let's drag this over here. Let's open, okay, there. Let's zoom in so you can see it. All right, so what does this app do? Well, it says hello world. Let's test that out. Okay, let's test that out by typing over here, npm start. Let's make this bigger. npm start. Enter. Okay, there's an error. That's because we haven't installed yet. So we run npm install. Then we download the internet. We download the packages, the node packages. Okay, then we run npm start. And then listening to port 8080. So we go back here. Localhost 8080. All right, we have hello world. Let's zoom that in. Okay, great. So we have hello world. That's good. But we don't want to say hello world. We want to say hello GC Pinas. There you go. Hashtag GC Pinas. Save that. Refresh. Whoops, it's not there. We have to restart our server. Let's restart that and refresh. Okay, woohoo! Now that we have hello GC Pinas, let's make this better. Let's put here, let's change this to HTML. So let's put this inside HTML. Let's put H1 and then H1 over here. This is not best practice, but I'm just showing how to kind of like hack this together. Style equals background color yellow. All right, there you go. And then slash body. Save that. Restart the server and refresh. So I have. Oh yeah, there you go. It's kind of too bright, isn't it? So I'm not really a designer. So what I love to do is, instead of doing this thing, design from scratch, I go to something called Google again, and then I type Bootstrap getting started. Let's do this. And then, okay, I have the second link over here, and then let's look for some things here. There's I think templates over here. Oh, there, templates. Oh, narrow jumbotron, this one. Okay, let's get this one. Okay, looks good. Then we go right click, view page source, and then Command A, copy, and then we go over here and paste. Woohoo! Okay, that is how programmers do it. Okay, so we have that. Let's change this to HTML so we know what to do. This is not best practice, by the way, but just so that you know, this is the way I'm doing it right now, just to show you quickly. So I save this and then restart the server. Okay, go back here. Let's hide the evidence. Close, refresh, and oh, it's broken. Okay, it's broken because the links, the CSS is not being linked. So let's hot link this instead. It's not best practice, but we'll do for our demo. So let's copy that. Okay. I think this is the one. Min. This one. Yes. Replace that. Save that. The other one. Narrow. Okay, this one. Copy paste. Save that. Now restart the server. There are tools for us to be able to automatically restart the server for every change, but I don't have the time to install it right now, so let's just do this instead. Let's refresh. Let's hide the evidence again. This is now our site. Refresh. Oh yeah. Woohoo! Now time to make it ours. Okay, let's go over here and let's say GC Pinas, or more of like hashtag GC Pinas. All right, delete this nav here. We don't need this. And then let's change this to hashtag GC Pinas. In fact, let's copy paste this thing because we're going to use this. Jumbotron heading over here will be GC Pinas again. And then we'll say, learn more about Google Cloud technologies. Woohoo! There you go. Okay, and then there's our href here. Let's say, get started, and then we link to, where do we link to, guys? We link to, let's link to Google Cloud, cloud.google.com. Let's link to that. Okay, let's link to that, copy that, paste the href, there you go, and then let's remove all this stuff at the bottom. And then most important part, guys, the copyright. 2020 hashtag GC Pinas, and it is ours already. Okay, let's go back here, restart the server. Okay, let's refresh. Oh yeah, GC Pinas. Learn more about Google technologies. We'll get started. We click that. and it brings us to cloud@google.com. Awesome. Now there's only one remaining thing left to do, and that is to deploy this thing. Because right now we're running on localhost, so we're now going to deploy. So how do we deploy? Go back to Node, to the quick start tutorial. So it taught us how to run. We did npm install, we did npm start. Now we need to do gcloud app deploy. Okay, let's do that. Gcloud app deploy. Let's add our project. -- project equals Pinas, which is, if you look at our console over here, no, that's not the one. Pinas. Where is that? Over here. There you go. This one, this is the project ID. Zoom in. This is the project ID. We'll use that. Let's go. Okay. Now it's about to deploy. Now it's letting us choose the region where we want our App Engine application located. We will choose Asia East 2, which is the nearest region to the Philippines. I mean, there's also Singapore here somewhere, but we'll choose one, Asia East 2, which is in Hong Kong. So we hit that, enter. All right, now it's creating the App Engine application. Okay, now while waiting for that, I'm gonna give you a little tour of the Cloud UI, all right? Oh, we press here. Do you want to continue? Yes, of course I want to continue. We're deploying that service. All right, it's deploying that. So, a little tour of how the Cloud Console UI looks like. So we have this dashboard, and we have this thing called cards. Well, let me reduce the music a little bit, just a little background. Okay, I just realized I wasn't streaming my music. It was just in my actual background. I wanted to make it like my real background. But anyways, we have here project info, the cards. And then we have here a card here that says getting started. So if you're in the Cloud Console, you can even see this list of getting started and like deploy a Hello World app on App Engine. You click that and it will bring you here to the quick start tutorial, where it will guide you and you can press start and so on. Okay, we're not going to do that now because I already went through that, all of that. But now the next thing I want to show you is this 3 dashes over here, or some people call it the hamburger button. We call this a navigation menu. You click it and you will see a list of Google Cloud products. Okay, so what are the Google Cloud products? We have, well, billing is not a product, but billing is where you pay your bills for your Google Cloud. But here we have identity and security, access, security, App Engine, which is what we're using, Compute Engine, these are your virtual machines. You have Kubernetes Engine, which you can run on Kubernetes and then eventually Docker containers on those. We have Cloud Functions, Cloud Run, VMware Engine, storage, file storage, file store, data transfer, databases. You also have your SQL databases here. You have networking stuff. You have operations tools. You have your other tools. There's so many. Google Cloud is so big. Like if it was a real cloud, it would be like the biggest cloud, like, you know, like those really, really, really big clouds. That was kind of corny. But anyways, we have big data. All these things, each one of here a service, a product, and then we have AI stuff in here. There's so many. We only touched App Engine, which is basically just right here. Let me find it again. And there we go. It's only App Engine. That's what we just touched. All right, so now you have all those. Let's see if our App Engine app succeeded in deploying, and it did. So here we go. Let me put in some background music again. Okay, so here we go. App Engine, and this is the URL, https://gcpnas.df.r.appspot.com. Let's visit that. You can visit that as well. Let's go here. Let's paste it. And gcpnas.df.r.appspot.com. And boom, there you go. GCPNAS, learn more about Google Cloud technologies. Woohoo! And just like that, in 10 minutes, we've been able to deploy from from our local application running on Node.js, and then we now have a web application running on the cloud. Very simple, but hey, that was only 10 minutes. So yeah, that's it for my demo. And I'm gonna welcome, I hope you learned something, got inspired by that. I'm gonna welcome back Jethro and Gianna to join me on stage, and we can go to the questions.
Hi, Sir Albert. Thank you so much for giving us an overview of cloud technology and Google Cloud. But before we move on, we'd like to ask you a couple of questions first for our audience.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, so we'd like to ask you, so why did you choose Google Cloud Platform in the first place and not other computing platforms? I mean, there's so many out there.
Yeah, there's so many out there, right? Let me be honest with you guys. I started this journey in 2008, right? That's like 12 years ago. 2008, I was building applications. I was building stuff on normal servers, like literally like the CPU on the side, and I would host my web application there, and I'd connect the wires myself. And to be honest, like that thing was really tiring because things would crash. I would have to back things up manually myself. It was very, very challenging actually, but that was the normal. So, I mean, I didn't complain that much because that was what everybody was doing. And then suddenly in 2008, I came across this thing that said, Google App Engine, scale your apps automatically, like automatically. And I was like, this is interesting. So I tried it, and then I fell in love with it. And ever since, I've just been using it. And that thing called Google App Engine eventually got rebranded and became something called Google Cloud. Now, of course, then there are other cloud providers that came out as well. They had their own offerings, but I was already hooked with Google Cloud. And the reason why I was hooked with Google Cloud and Google App Engine specifically was because it just worked, and it worked so easily. Like literally, I still have applications running on Google App Engine right now that I've deployed like 8 years ago, and until now they still run. And I haven't touched them; they're still just running. And I think that's really, really cool and shows you like the power of Google Cloud and the simplicity of it. I've run stuff on other cloud providers as well. I mean, they're also okay. I mean, they're all servers at the end of the day. But I think what really sets apart Google Cloud is I love Google App Engine and some of the other serverless and managed services offerings. I think they're really helpful for like solo developers, small developer teams who want to do big things without having to like learn too many things, because you can go crazy and like learn so many things and super like go into the details of technology, and you can go down that road. But I think with serverless managed services like Cloud Run or Google App Engine or Cloud Functions, it lets you deploy your software online with knowing just enough, and yet it will run on top of infrastructure that is stable, secure, and it will run even if you don't touch it for quite some time.
So would you consider yourself like the OG developer for Google Cloud? Like
I was part of the first, like I would say the first few people that came in like during their preview. I came in during like the preview of Google App Engine, and that was in 2008. Yeah.
Wow. Then we're so lucky to have you here talk about it. Then you have the OG.
The pleasure is mine.
Yeah.
And sir, we're very curious, like as the OG GCP guy here in the Philippines, what else can GCP do? Like what notable projects have you done with GCP, or like other people made with GCP?
That's a lot, man. Like, so Google Cloud is a platform. That's what I call Google Cloud Platform, right? So a platform means you build stuff on top of it. So let me just say that almost everything that you see in the internet right now, or almost all Google products that you see right now, from Gmail to YouTube to the Android stuff, almost anything you see online. I don't Google Slides, Google Docs, these things, they're built on top of Google Cloud Platform. So what can you build on Google Cloud Platform? Anything, man. Snapchat was built in Google Cloud. Spotify, a lot of Spotify stuff, like I think their big data stuff run on Google Cloud. So yeah, real world applications run on Google Cloud. And even a small applications like mine, like this Pinas learn more about Google Cloud Technologies woohoo website that we created in 10 minutes, that's also running on the same platform that runs Spotify's big data applications.
That's amazing. So I didn't know that it's supporting like one of the biggest social media platforms today. I mean, of course, with other Google platforms. So that's so cool. And so considering this, like how all these notable companies are using GCP, like what would you see, how would you see the future of GCP will be like? From what I know is that GCP is actually like the fastest growing cloud platform right now in the world. Am I correct?
Actually, I don't know because I don't like go crazy with stats. Like I don't try to like go out and compare like who's growing faster than who and like that. You know what I just do? I just use it. I love it. I'm very happy with it and I stick with it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I also do stuff on AWS. I also do stuff on Azure. Like I've used other clouds. I still continue to use them for other things, especially if we have clients that require those. But if I get to choose, we stick and default with Google Cloud.
I see. So that says a lot then about the platform. And Jethro, you have a question, right?
Yeah. I think given all of these developments, I'm curious, and why should one like learn GCP, especially for students and developers here in the Philippines?
Okay. Well, first thing you just need to learn cloud, period. Right? Like if you want to go with if you want to survive, like no, like we don't build stuff on servers anymore. Like the physical CPU stuff, like that I used to do, we don't do that as much anymore. Maybe like network engineers they still do that, but if you're developing software nowadays, chances are you will be developing it on the cloud, any cloud, right? And so it's really important to know that. But why GCP or why Google Cloud specifically? I think primarily, if you ask me, it's because the technologies in Google Cloud they work really, really well, and I would just say they're top class engineering. So you benefit from, Google is famous for their really brilliant engineers, right? Google spends a ton of money to get
Yeah.
their really brilliant engineers. So these brilliant engineers, they built Google Cloud and they use Google Cloud, and they build products on top of Google Cloud. And so the engineering that goes behind this is just really, really, really high quality. And so you get to benefit from that. At the end of the day, it's still a virtual machine. Okay, it's still a virtual machine that you get. You can spin that up in Google Cloud, and you can spin that up in AWS or in Azure. But the difference in Google Cloud, there's AI involved that will tell you like if you are utilizing your virtual machine well. Like if you are overutilizing it, it will tell you using AI saying we recognize that you're overutilizing this. You might want to like increase the size of your VM so that you will get more performance. Likewise, vice versa, it will say, hey, it looks like you're underutilizing your virtual machine. You might want to resize it lower and save on costs. So see, it's still a virtual machine at the end of the day, but this one is smarter in a sense. So and this kind of thinking goes into a lot of different products in GCP, right? And those touches that I like those. And so if you just also ask me, the reason why I really stuck it out is because the apps that I've been using, that I've deployed 8 years ago, are still working fine. And that says a lot because I haven't touched those things in quite some time. And that is not normal for apps to just run on itself on its own without being maintained for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
But it
Thank
does.
you.
So essentially,
Yeah.
sir, all developers should learn GCP. Is that your say?
Like it's an essential.
Yeah, definitely. Like
yeah.
if you want to be competitive, well, okay. If you are a student or if you want to become a developer, you should learn as much as you can. Period. You should learn as much as you can because there's so many technologies out there and there's so much advancement and things are moving very fast. If there's any one thing that you should learn, it's how to learn as fast as you can. Because If you start in this industry, you think you learn already. I'm still learning until now. I'm still like figuring it out, like figuring out new stuff. Every single month, something new comes out, something new that's important, and you need to adopt it to learn it. So you need to learn how to learn fast. Now, why everybody should learn GCP? Because GCP is one of the top cloud providers. So chances are, if you land in a software development job, being knowledgeable in GCP is a plus. Also, especially if you want to work with big data, a lot of big data applications run on Google Cloud. Google Cloud is very, what do you call this? Native or seasoned or reputable in terms of big data, because Google is so used to handling big data. I mean, like Google is used by several billion people, and not just one Google product, but several Google products have like a billion users. So Google is used to running lots of data. So if you also want to do that, then you'll be familiar with GCP.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. I mean, I totally relate to that part where you're saying that everything's so fast paced. We have to keep up. New things keep popping out of nowhere. It doesn't stop. Yeah.
Like after you learn GCP, you kind of have to learn. I mean, you can't fully learn GCP. You probably learn like a few parts of GCP. I mean, I don't know the wholeness of GCP. Like I only know a few parts of it well, then most of it a little, then some of it like I was like, oh, what is that? Like that's new. Like I didn't see that like yesterday. So there's always something new to learn.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think they're adding features regularly in GCP.
Yeah, they do. Actually, we have some questions for you, Sir Albert.
Sure.
So, okay, let me just put you there. And here. Good evening, Sir Albert. Does Google Cloud App Engine support other programming languages?
Yes, it does. So there's something called the App Engine Standard. It supports Python, Go, Node.js, Java. There's a bunch of others as well that it supports. And then there's something called App Engine Flexible, which can basically run any runtime at all. So it will run famous programming languages. Yeah. I just use Node because that's kind of what I use.
Okay, thank you, Stephen.
Okay, we have another question
Node.js.
From Gio Pineda. Hello, Sir Albert. Can you also teach us how to use App Engine with auto scaling or manual scaling? Thank you.
So this is something, it's there in the documentation. So one of the things that I can teach you is like read the documentation. Like it's there, it's under like app.yaml's configuration or instant scaling, and you will see that there. Or you can Google App Engine manual scaling, and I guarantee you one of the first few articles that will come out will teach you how to do auto scaling and manual scaling. But right now I can tell you the difference between automatic scaling and manual scaling. So auto scaling will basically like if the load, how do you say load? Okay, whenever you have more users accessing your application, you would need more servers, right? Most people don't know this, but you actually need more servers. Imagine like you have, if you went to the bank, I don't know if people still go to the bank nowadays, or maybe last year you did go to like a bank or you enrolled in your school, right? And there's usually only like a few windows, like a register window or like a cashier, right? Like where you pay. There's only like 2 or 3 people there or 2 or 3 windows. And then so what happens, you have a long queue, you have a long line of people and you line up. Maybe like Jollibee na lang. Everybody knows Jollibee. All right, so in Jollibee, you only have like 2 cashiers and it's so annoying, right? If there's only 2 cashiers and then there's like so many people lining up at lunchtime. So what does Jollibee do? Usually they open up new lines. They open up new cashiers and then you line up. So that's like that as well. In your website, if you only have one server and then a lot of people try to access the same server, the website tends to slow down. There's like a line, there's a queue that's happening. You just don't see it, but you're like lining up and all the requests are lining up and the server is trying to serve it as fast as it can, but because there's so many, it will slow down. That's why you see slow websites. That's one of the reasons why Cebu Pacific gets slow when there's a promo fare, right? Like that's the reason, because you don't have enough servers, you have too many users. Now with App Engine, you don't have to worry about that. Why? Because as a number of users increase, App Engine automatically adds more servers. automatically. This is what you call auto scaling. And so you don't have to do anything. It just automatically scales and you don't even notice it. The only thing that you will notice later is that your bill also increases because you have more servers and you pay for the servers. I mean, this is not a problem because if you have more users, that means usually you're able to monetize them, or you're also earning more money, you're becoming more famous, or your app is getting used more. So either you have investment for that, or you people are actually buying your stuff. So that's not usually a problem. But yeah, it will not go down. It will not go slow. You just have to make sure that you have enough money to cover that. But if you don't, there's also budget alerts that you can set, that you can tell Google, like if you reach a certain amount, you have an alert so that you don't pay that. You can make adjustments so that you don't end up paying big. Now, manual scaling is basically you telling App Engine, I don't care if many users increase or decrease. I will set the exact number of servers that I want. So I will put 5 servers. That's manual scaling. It will not like change. Then if you change it to 10 servers, then it will change to 10. And it doesn't matter how many users are there or not. Are there more or less, doesn't matter. So that's the difference between auto scaling and manual scaling. How to do that? You can Google it, it's there.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Sir Albert, for that, and Gio for that question. Oh, I think we have 2 final questions. We'll answer these 2 last ones. So let me remove that. Oops. Here.
Oh, deja vu. Okay.
What has been the biggest project developed by a Filipino using Google Cloud that has been recognized internationally? From Kevin.
Yeah. You know this thing called Snapchat?
Yes.
Yeah. Snapchat was one of the co-founders of Snapchat is a Filipino or half Filipino. And they built Snapchat originally, I think it still is, on Google App Engine.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Good to know.
Fun facts. Fun facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kevin, I hope that answers your question.
There's also, I think this is not a Filipino, but I don't know if you guys know Khan Academy. It's Khan Academy is like an educational site. I use it once in a while if I want to learn some math and physics, brush up on economics or whatnot. I highly recommend it, but it's also built on top of Google App Engine.
Oh, okay. That's amazing.
We
have a last question, sir. Again, from Gio Pineda. Yeah. What certification do you recommend to start on? Cloud engineering or cloud architect certification? Can you also tell us what are the best ways or resources to study Google Cloud?
Yeah, so cloud architect certification is what I would recommend. And the reason for this is because it gives you this big, wide sort of knowledge of the many different parts of Google Cloud. It also allows you to sort of see where the different parts of different Google Cloud can interconnect and what roles do they play in a bigger application, right? Because for example, let's talk about Snapchat, for example. Snapchat may have a mobile app, but you upload photos. So whenever you upload photos, where does that go? Or videos? It goes to a storage. So that goes to cloud storage, right? Whenever you're doing messaging, you're sending a message, where does that go? It can go to a database, or it can also go to like messaging service. There's Google Cloud PubSub. That's a messaging service. I don't know if they use that, but you can also use Datastore or Firestore, which is a real-time real-time database service. But on the back end, there's also stuff like, if you want to get statistics on your users, if the people in Snapchat want to answer a question of like, how many people are messaging between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. and they're located in the Philippines, but they're messaging somebody in the US. Very complicated question, right? But you can do that with Google Cloud BigQuery. So they also then use BigQuery for that, for setting up their dashboards. Now, obviously, I don't know about what Snap actually does, but I'm just trying to connect the dots and say to you that different products and different services can be used and are actually being used for different purposes, different specific purposes in your overall architecture. And the Google Cloud Architect certification allows you to have that. The next question here is, can you also tell us what are the best ways, resources to study Google Cloud? Okay, if you're just starting out, I have this course on LinkedIn. So disclaimer, this is mine. I do make money and some royalty if you do click it and you watch it. But I can recommend it because I made it and I know what I put there, and I think it will really be able to help you. It's like all my talks about Google Cloud, I kind of like had to squeeze it to make sure that, that it would really communicate the point across as efficiently and effectively as possible. So it's in LinkedIn Learning. This one is called Google Cloud Essential Training for Web Developers. So again, it's Google Cloud Essential Training for Web Developers, and it's there. And yeah, I highly recommend that to get started. It'll give you like a good overview of what Google Cloud is initially. But then if you want to go deep, I really suggest Qwiklabs, Qwiklabs. So there's Qwiklabs, the QWIK labs, and there's also Qwiklabs, CODE labs. And those are like hands-on stuff that you can do. But at the end of the day, after you do all these things, nothing beats doing a real life project. And this is actually how I really got started. Thank you for posting the link. So that's the link to my course. So thank you, Harvey. I'm seeing him chat here that he loves the course. I think, but I'm not really done yet, but really solid, sir. Oh, thank you. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to say is that nothing really beats building your own project, and better if the project is paid, meaning like if somebody paid you to build something, like do it at an extreme discount for a relative, right? But get paid. Doesn't matter if 1,000 pesos, 5,000 pesos, take money so that there's real commitment, right? And it pressures you to like deliver and to do something and to do your best and to learn. So I think at the end of the day, nothing really beats a serious project. So, and lastly, there's also the internship path. So we do, I'm come from a company called Symph, that's my company, symph.co, symph.co. And we accept interns, remote interns, student interns, even people who have already graduated and they want to try our internship. We do have internships. You can, if you message me, I'm happy to send you more information, or you can look it up at our website. I think if you go to the hiring or something like that, you can see there's a page there that says inquire for internships, and you can see it there. A lot of our interns like give good reviews and they have a good time. But not only they have a good time, but they actually really they learn a lot, and we let them work on. Well, initially, you have to work your way up. Like you kind of like first work on some menial tasks, and then if you do well, if you can be trusted, then you kind of like move up, and eventually, sometimes even they get assigned to help out in real projects. So that's really helpful. So those are sort of my recommendations. There's a lot. Feel free to choose from them, or feel free to do all of them. Up to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Albert. Thank you for giving us an overview. For taking the time to speak with us about Google Cloud and the wonders of cloud technology.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now we know how valuable GCP is, and thank you for teaching us today.
Cool.
Thank you. So now we're gonna move on to our next segment. Wait a second. So yeah. So now we're going to move to our next segment. And now that you know how valuable the Google Cloud Platform is, let's now explore Qwiklabs. So before we hand over the stage to Harvey Season, I'll first go through a step-by-step guide on how to access Qwiklabs. So in order to first get access to Qwiklabs, you first need to visit the official GC Pinas website. So this is it. And if you scroll down, you'll see this information. So this program is actually available for only 1 month. It started in the 4th of December and it will end by the 3rd of January. And with this program, you get to complete a set of quests, which will be provided on the Qwiklabs platform. If you see over here, it covers a range of topics from performing foundational infrastructure tasks in Google Cloud, how to set up your own cloud environment, etc. And fun fact, if you get to complete 6 of these quests mentioned here on this website, you'll be able to claim free swags. So who wouldn't want that, right? And if you go on this website, you'll see it here. You just have to scroll down, click this button, and fill out the forms once you've completed your 6 quests. But we're not going to go through that right now. What I'm going to go through with you is how to access it in the first place, as we do realize that it can be a very complicating process. So once you get here, all you have to do is click the Register Now button. I've already completed it, so this is what it says. But once you complete this form, you should receive an email like this. So it should have the title, GC Pinas, 1 month of free Qwiklabs access to learn Google Cloud. And if you can't find this in your inbox, it could be in your spam or promotional folder. So if you can't find it there, be sure to check it. Or normally what I do, I just type in some keywords in the search bar and it automatically comes up. It's the quickest way to find it. And when you scroll down, you'll see this infograph. And in order to enroll to Qwiklabs, you first have to click on this button. And when I click on this, it should lead to the Qwiklabs platform itself. So this is what I first see. This is the first quest that you guys should complete in order to gain a monthly subscription. So this is it. And today we will be going through a tour of Qwiklabs in Google Cloud. And then I'll hand it over to Harvey Season to do the first hands-on lab with you, which will be the creating a virtual machine. Thing is, I'm not yet logged in yet. So I already prepared that. And oops. Once I've logged in, it's supposed to show this. So for the purpose of doing a demo on how to gain monthly subscription, I unenrolled. But once you get here, once you sign in, you should see that you're logged in here. And now I'm gonna try and gain my monthly subscription. So what I'm gonna do is enroll in this quest, click on this button. And once I do that, it will lead to the first quest, which is a tour of Qwiklabs and Google Cloud. So over here, you can find the entire course. And as you see, there are quizzes that you have to complete in order to gain monthly subscription. But in order to do that, you first have to click the Start Lab green button, which is on this side. So I'm not a robot. I have to identify the taxis. That is a taxi. Yes. Okay, so now that I've started the lab, I'm going to do the first course. So I've already gone through this, but for the purpose of this, I'm going to answer everything here, and hopefully I don't get any of them wrong. So this, and this. So yeah. As you see, I have to complete all the quiz results in order to get monthly subscription. And since this is just a demo, I'm gonna skip over the quiz results, also because I want you guys to study it on your own and not reveal the answers. And I'm going to skip to the end. And once I get to the end, and once you finish all your quiz results, you should click End Lab. And once you click End Lab, you can check this part. So after finishing this, you're supposed to finally see a monthly subscription banner under your profile. And when you click this, it should show this list. So you should have received 9 credits and 1 Advantage subscription. And with this, this already confirms that you have monthly subscription and you have until January. Well, in my case, it's different. But in my case, in your case, it should end around January 3. So that's how you can gain access to Qwiklabs. So I hope that this made it less confusing for you guys to access it. And now that I'm done with this demo, I'm now gonna hand it over to Harvey. So, Chatro.
Okay. Now that you have now that you know how to access Qwiklabs, let's do our first hands-on lab together. For this part, we have Harvey J. Season. Harvey Season is a full stack engineer, software engineer, and aspiring technical program manager from Quezon City, Philippines. He's currently a senior management engineering student at the Ateneo de Manila University, and at the same time, he's also a platform engineer at Texora Technologies Incorporated. Without further ado, let's give the stage to Harvey J. Season.
Yo, hi everyone. I'm happy to be here. Okay, so hi guys, welcome to GC Pinas, and I'm happy to be here. So let me share my screen. As said by our host, I'm still a student, but I would say I really, I'm a product of Qwiklabs. So let me share this screen. Wait, can everyone see it? Okay, so as you would see, I've already done badges before. So these are the things that I really started just essentials to the big queries to basic machine learning, deploy application, DevOps, all these things I was able to do in the span of a year. So right now I've been tasked to teach you how to on the next hands-on course, which I was happy enough to that Sir Albert a while ago discussed App Engine, because App Engine was one of the things that I really like as well in those kinds of service of GCP. But let me start with this: creating a virtual machine. For this virtual machine, right? You would see that our first task is to be done in 40 minutes, and as you would see, there's a what we call here a grading system. Why is there a grading system? You would see that if you go to these tabs here, you are tasked to accomplish something, and then you have to finish it inside the lab. Next, you have also, so there are three tasks mainly that you have to accomplish. So without further ado, I'll be starting our lab today. Okay. Sorry, I think am I live? Hello? Yeah. So again, I'm sorry if I was lagging. I was lagging on my end. But let's start with the hands-on course. So what we're gonna use is something different with they call this with App Engine. App Engine is a platform as a service. You get me? That's platform as a service. So you use a platform to host your servers, your web applications, right? So that's something that Sir Albert was able to teach us a while ago in his demo. But right now, we're going to use Compute Engine. Compute Engine is a infrastructure as a service. So let me show you. No? So you can read more about this. But let's start. So you click start lab. I'm not a robot. And then once you click more about this, there's um there's the motorcycles. I have to click all the motorcycles, tama ba? Yeah. And then for this, you have to use subscription, right? You have to use subscription. So once you click subscription, it would load everything to you. It will show you a list. So once you open the console, it will show you something like this. I suggest you open this in incognito. So that's Control Shift N, and then I just need to cut this and paste this. Why is that? Because if you log in automatically in your browser, it will include all the lists. I don't have to log it out now, so you can just delete it. So your username is your email. So you copy it here. Okay. After that signing in, you have to put your password. RX8, paste it again. You have to log in. Susunod. So it's in Filipino, no? Right now, once you see this account, it show you, okay, you're a student. You're gonna be using Google Cloud Services as a student. So this is a good way to learn because you're not gonna you know, bill anything. Google Cloud won't bill anything to you because it's a student account, something like that. So once you enter, you're gonna see something like this. You just have to click confirm. And with that, welcome to Google Cloud Pilipinas. So we're going inside the cloud. This is Google Cloud platform. As you would see, this is what you saw with Sir Albert a while ago. You just have to accept um, things from it, and then you're in. So you see the dashboard, you see the APIs. You can customize this as much as you want. These are all the services that you can see, right? But for this, as said, our so Google Cloud Compute Engine is this aspect. So this compute, you have actually I just pinned this. Okay, so it's there. You have to click it. So that's Compute Engine. So if you go back to Qwiklabs, it will show you what to do first. So task number one is to click Compute Engine and go to VM instance. So right now we're in VM instance. Now, it will take some minutes to initialize. Now, what we do next is to create. So we're going to create the VM instance. It's going to load. When it's loaded, there, all the details. You just also estimate all the prices that you would need. So you don't have to worry that, as I said. These are the details. This is the field, which is the name. And next is the value. So GCP Lab. So that's Google Cloud Engine Lab. You have to see the region, Central 1, United States. I think it's in that aspect. And then the zone should be zone 1C. So zone 1C is something like this. You have to click this one and then pick zone central 1C, which is this one. Somehow you're able to finish the first portion. You go back, you can see that you need an N1 standard 2. So right now, you're just setting up the virtual machine. As said, this is a infrastructure as a service. So the difference between the platform, like App Engine, it's like Heroku, Netlify, you just host it and everything will be managed for you. But with infrastructure as a service, you have to set everything for yourself. Like you have to set up how many GPU you need, the load, everything, all those performances, like custom building your own PC. Yeah, so for this, I have to go to N2 and then I have to go N1 standard 2. Okay? For this, it will tell you that you go the Debian boot disk, which is already the default one. So you don't have to worry about that. What you have to worry though is to allow HTTP traffic. And I show you why you need that. So I'm going to allow an HTTP traffic. Once I click this, you just click create. So once you click create, I would say that's how fast you can create an infrastructure for your own. So you just have to wait for it to really create. So it's as simple as that. You can create your own infrastructure as a service with just a click of a button. So that's one. That's one aspect for you to really create a compute engine or a virtual machine, as you'd say. So you might ask, how do you use this in use cases? No, this virtual machine. If you've tried having a Windows laptop, for example, like mine, I have a Windows laptop and I want to, create my own virtual machine inside my computer to have an Ubuntu, for example. I have to use a virtual machine on my computer, and so that I can host um, Linux in my laptop. So something like that. This is what GC Google Compute Engine creates for you. So now that it's here, if you go to Qwiklabs, you have to we're gonna go down once it's created, and then as you would see, you have to click the SSH button. So in the SSH button, so that's a secured shell. So let's go back to the Google Cloud Platform, and then you click SSH. Once you click the SSH, it will pop up something. So what's this for, no? You might ask. So imagine this as your doorway towards to a computer overseas. Do you get me? So this SSH is a secure line to your server hosted in US Central 1C. Do you get me? So it's your direct, you're like accessing a computer from the Philippines. Isn't that amazing? So right now that we're here, it will show instructions on what to do. Let me zoom this in so that you can see. There. See, what we're gonna do is install a web Nginx server. How do we do that? We go sudo su. So we're gonna go admin permissions, and we're gonna update everything first. Update the system. It's updating on its own, 97 packets. Okay, download. See, I look like a hacker right now. Okay, next is, it will see that you have to install nginx-y. You might ask, what do you need the dash y for? Right? Wait, what? Right? So, dash y would, like, help you. There's sometimes prompts in the, what do you call this, in the when downloading something. So dash y means you will accept everything from it, and you just move on by downloading the nginx. So once I can dash y install apt-get install nginx-y, it will install everything for you. Just have to wait as usual, and there it is. Now we have to just type this. As you see a while ago, I was just typing it. For me, that's the best practice you can do. Type it on your own so that masanay ka, you get used to it. So for this case, actually you can just copy it, to be honest. No, so where's this? You just copy that, paste. See, it says that it's already running. So how do we know that it's running? So you go to Google Cloud Platform, you click the external IP address, click it, and there we go. Welcome to Nginx. So that's it. I've shown you one way to really create a virtual machine, right, in Google Cloud. So with that, once it's created, you just check my progress, and it should have a check mark. Now that we have that, as you would see, I have 50 over 100, and that's, for me, that's a failing score yet. So you have to add, finish the last task. So now that we did that, there's also another way for you to create an instance, and that's through the Google Cloud Shell. So what's amazing about this is that in Google Cloud Shell, when you just click this button in top right, you get Google Cloud. It pops up something below. You got it. It will activate Cloud Shell, and as you'd see, Cloud Shell is free for all users. So, yep, and that it is. And since we're using Cloud Shell, I'll just drag this up. Let's remove the GUI, for example. For the moment, rather, that's graphic user interface. It would load the machine for you. So it's like, what do you call this? GCP becomes your cloud computer, and that cloud computer helps you access inland computers in other regions in the world, wherever you placed it. So this Google Cloud Shell helps you if you know, maybe you want to be a hacker, like it must really more comfortable with doing typing scripts, something like this. Then okay, right? So to do this, you have to go down and read everything. So it says here Google Cloud Compute Instances create GCP Lab 2 dash dash machine. Okay. So I think we can copy that, but it will be best that you do it. I'll explain this. Qwiklabs, it's already an instruction on how to use it. So I'll close the panel here to have more info. As you would see, it says G-Cloud. So G-Cloud, when you add compute, you're gonna access the service called compute, which is specifically compute engine. And then you're gonna access the instances, which are VM or virtual machine instances. And then you're gonna create. And you're gonna create an instance called GC Lab 2. Then we're gonna put that it's a machine type of N1 dash standard 2 with the zone in United States Central C, right? So once I enter that, it's gonna load for you. You're gonna ask authorize. Okay, I'm allowing Google Cloud Shell to activate this Google Cloud SDK. So you just have to wait. While waiting, you can move around. You can check around Google Cloud platform. That's actually what I do if I'm trying to wait for this. So it's gonna activate for you. You just have to wait. Okay. So now that we're waiting, yeah, this might really take some time, as maybe right. So it's really that amazing. So see, after some time, boom, it's there. Like it has created the GC Lab 2 with a zone of US Central C and one standard 2 with an internal and external IP address. Right? So with that, we have to check my progress. And actually, once you did that, you're actually done. Like, it's 100%, you can actually end the lab. But let me share to you something very, very interesting. You saw how I touched the SSH, right? I click the SSH and then it opens a terminal. What if you can connect to the SSH through the G Cloud SDK already? How do you do that, right? So as you would see, there's already something prepared for you, right? It's a G Cloud SSH Lab 2 with a zone of where you're gonna put it. So you just copy that. No, not that one. This one. In this aspect, I'm gonna paste it, and there, what we're saying is that through G Cloud, we're gonna access a compute engine SSH called GCE Lab 2 with the zone of US Central 1C. So once I enter that, right? Once I enter that, diba? Before let's say if you want to access, that computer somewhere else, you have to create generate SSH. Okay, I want enter, okay, enter. It's gonna create those specific things that we're not gonna cover today. But there, we're inside our thing. So as usual, what we did was first we go sudo su, and then we're gonna app get update. Actually, if you feel lazy, I'll do this something like this: install engine X Y. Para it's one go. Yeah. So and then I can just go up. Oh, where's this one? I can just go up and then copy if the engine X is running. Right? I can just copy that. It's still loading. So as you would see, see, I was able to access a certain virtual machine through this. So let's check if it works, right? I'm gonna copy the script to check if the enter there it's running. So if I go down, right? The problem is, wait, I can't click it, right? I can't, access the external IP address. How do we fix that? So that's the question. So to fix that, you just have to click GCP Lab 2 for this. Or actually, you can use it through scripts. You can read it through documentation. But the easiest for me is just, edit the VM instance, activate, where is it? Where's the, ayun, allow HTTP access, traffic rather save. And then once it's saving, you go back for a moment, wait for it to run. Actually, you can just refresh, refresh, refresh. There, once you click it, voila, and we're done. So again, we're done. That's already 100%. That's a perfect A. You just have to end the lab, and by ending the lab, you are forfeiting, access to the Google Cloud platform, right? So parang the free trial is done for about 23 minutes left. So I'm gonna end this lab. So once I end it, it will prompt you. Now you should to end the lab. Yes, I am very sure we are able to understand how to create a virtual machine. And there it is. You just, I put it a 5-star because I was able to learn. And that's all for now. Thank you very much. I'm calling on the host again.
Uh,
Yeah, so thank you so much, Harvey, for the live demonstration on the first hands-on lab. And I hope this live demo will help you guys who are watching, kickstart your journey in learning Google Cloud.
yeah. With that, we will now enter the Q&A portion for this webinar. So leave your questions below if you have any questions for Harvey. I think even if it's not related to his workshop.
Even if it's not related to the quest he did, if you have a question about like the GC Pinas program in itself, for example, like how long it lasts or how to access if you have issues or if you can't find the email, let us know in the comments section below.
Okay. I think I have some questions for Harvey. Harvey, when did you start learning GCP or Google Cloud, like
Oh, I
in
see.
general?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that. Now, I learned GCP actually. I would say more than a year of theory. I started last year, November 12th, if I'm not mistaken. So that's November 12th, 2019. And I'm not an expert like Sir Albert, I would say. But after, trying lots of different cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and now GCP, I see how easy it is. You saw how fast we were able to create a virtual machine. If I were not so slow in explaining, I can finish that in 5 minutes, right? And then you're done. So it's really easy. You can create an infrastructure already in less than 5 minutes. You can create a platform already in less than 5 minutes. So that's how amazing Google Cloud is. But a caveat, it's also amazing prices. So watch out for those, costs when using cloud, not just in GCP but in AWS and Azure as well, because prices are insane. And yeah, did that answer your question, Jeff?
Yeah. Uh, and
Yeah.
I think for that, like given your like 1 year experience, what have been like the projects that you've done with GCP? Can you share some with
Oh,
us?
okay, cool. Actually, you really get to learn more about the cloud through projects as suggested by Sir Albert a while ago, which I really appreciate. Right, these projects, for example, I prefer using App Engine. Like personally, App Engine because it's really easy. Just have to download it in your VS Code in your terminal and then deploy it. It's really easy. You can also add a CI/CD. So that's a integration continuous delivery. Tama na tama. So CI/CD, you can just run it. So every time you update, for example, your repository in GitHub, it will automatically run. So that's what I did. So I started with CI/CD platforms because Cloud Run, if I'm not mistaken, has 2 hours free per day. So I am not naman that the person na every time I update something, I have to run the function. No, right? So that is really helpful if I want to run projects, especially in organization and personal projects. I want things up. Like you don't have to manually type your script, right? You don't have to manually type your script. Git push, diba? Git push. I want once I click git push, the site is updated. You get me? I want it instant. So that's one thing that I did. Google Cloud, Cloud Run. One thing I also use besides App Engine Google Cloud Run is Cloud SQL. So I'm really fond of using what do you call this? Um, yeah, the SQL of it Postgres specifically. So I use Cloud SQL and connect it to App Engine. And then that's where I tell my code, put all those databases in Cloud SQL. Like put all my queries, my data in Cloud SQL. And there I can manage it. There's a GUI for it. So it's really easy for me. Right? And then last I would say is the hardest. This is the infrastructure. Compute engine. Because in compute engine you have to set up the load balancing, you have to set up alerts, your analytics, because your bandwidth, all those you have to really worry about changes. If you don't want to concern yourself with such, go with App Engine. Yeah, I think those are the projects. And then I also tried mga we call this mga machine learning projects wherein I tried identifying similarities of the cloud, pictures of cloud. Sobrang dami talaga, like legit. There's a lot of things I personally haven't explored on my own, and some of which I explored through Qwiklabs. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Harvey. In fact, we actually do have some questions. Some people would like to ask you. So let me move you there again. So from Eric, is there a way to reset the quota of a specific lab activity?
Oh, okay. So for me, the specific quota is that the time. I'm assuming it's the time, right? What you do, just do what Gia told you to do. Sign up for that 1 month subscription, please. Just finish that 1 month subscription. Activate that first course so that you have 1 month subscription. Why? Because as soon as you finish you activate that 1 month subscription, you can just technically start a lab and finish it. There was an error. You have to repeat it again. Like you have 5 minutes left. You can technically, stop the lab and restart it again because it's free. It's month. You have 1 month subscription, right? So I think capitalize on that. If you want to go inside the cloud platform for free, personally, what I would do is just log in to the cloud platform through the Qwiklabs and then just explore. Yeah. So I think just capitalize on the month subscription. It's gonna be only for you, but the caveat once it expires, you have to pay for the token. So watch out, right? Be mindful when your monthly subscription ends, or if you want it to extend, watch out for more cloud um, workshops by DSC. Yeah, maybe there's or other platforms out there, other communities. For sure, there's something they're gonna offer with Qwiklabs.
Yeah, definitely take advantage of those of that free subscription. We have another question from Gio. Uh, Hello, Sir Harvey Season. When using GCP, how should you decide when to use App Engine, Compute Engine, or Kubernetes engine?
Okay, that's a very good question. I'm also having a hard time, deciding on that matter. But actually, for me, what you have to do is look first on the capabilities, your personal capabilities, or if you're with the team, no, ano bang kaya nila? What can they do, right? So if I'm the person, I don't want to manage an infrastructure, right? I don't want to manage all this, infrastructure, all these parang things in the back end, which I would say the DevOps side of things. I would go for App Engine, right? It's the easiest way to scale. You just put your server, you just put your web application, it's there. So that's how I would pick. That's the first one. However, if you want to use, Docker, in the Kubernetes, environment system, you would go for Kubernetes engine. I think that's how I would differentiate it. If you really want to start from the core side of things, you can go with compute engine, and that doesn't mean, right, that you would just stick to one. You would just stick to compute engine, you would just stick to app engine, you would just stick to Kubernetes engine. Actually, with Google Cloud, with just one project, you can activate everything if needed on your scope, right? So, for example, if I want to host my front end in App Engine and my back end, yet is it's gonna cost you a lot. But you know what I mean. So, if I were to pick between the three app engines for me, if you just want to host something and don't worry about anything else in the back end or DevOps side of things, go App Engine. If you want to manage infrastructure, like how cloud engineers really manage these kinds of things, go compute engine. If you have multiple environments management through Docker, Kubernetes, you go Kubernetes engine. And I hope that answers your question, because personally I haven't tried really all of those aspects yet, like simultaneously. But that's how I would pick the capabilities of my team. um may parang risk, the factors about me, my technical skill. Is it something that I worth building my time, right? Learning more. If you just want to build something, just go something that you want to learn the best or use. Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gio. So, how do I? Wait a second. Yeah. Yeah, so once again, we highly encourage you guys to just at least register, Do not hesitate to just do it, because it is honestly such an amazing opportunity, and it's available to everyone in the Philippines. It's not exclusive just to, developer student clubs. It's available to all. So again, it's available for 1 month, and honestly, it does not take that much time to complete 6 quests. Honestly, you can complete it within a day, or even less, like I'd say 3 hours. If you stay focused, you could, and within a day you've already learned the basics of Google Cloud Platform. So I think Jethro copy pasted the links below here, in the comment section.
I'll
If
send it
not,
again.
yeah, send it again. If not, just go here. Just go to this link and you will find the official website of GC Pinas. Again, find that register now button. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out to Developer Student Clubs Philippines. Just message us on Facebook and we will do our best to help you guys. Yeah, so that's it, guys. I think we've reached the end of the webinar. Thank you, everyone, for choosing to join us at the GC Pinas webinar. Get started and learn Google Cloud today.
Yeah, and we're excited to receive your submissions for the with your badges to receive your free Google merch, GCP merch, and they're very amazing. So do take this opportunity seriously. So yeah, and I think we would also like to thank Harvey for his time, for giving his time to share his skills with our wonderful participants. And I think Harvey, if someone has questions, how can they reach you? Like
Oh, good
do you have
question.
a
So,
LinkedIn or Facebook account?
you can just go to my site harveyseason.com. All my social medias are
Wow.
there, and just ping me.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, so if you have questions, then just ping him on
Yeah,
his
to all.
website. It's just, are you pulling it up, Chatru?
Yeah.
There you go. Here, https harveyseason.com. So just ping him there. He's an amazing developer. You guys already know that through this webinar. So thank you, everyone. And we hope you enjoyed learning about cloud technology and the wonders of the Google Cloud Platform. So we wish you the best of luck in kickstarting your cloud journey. And stay safe, guys, and good night.
Have a nice night.
Have a nice night. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Bye.